A woman in medieval France starts to dance in the streets. The whole town starts to dance with her. It continues for days, weeks and months. What was the reason behind the dance? How it stopped? And what happened to her? Let's get into the video and explore the events of dancing plague happened during the medieval times. Strasbourg is a city in northeastern France, located close to the border with Germany. During the medieval period, Strasbourg was an important commercial and cultural center, situated at the crossroads of several major trade routes. The city's strategic location on the Rhine River also made it a hub for transportation and shipping. In the 12th and 13th centuries, Strasbourg experienced a period of rapid growth and prosperity, as it became a center for crafts. Well established in trade and streamlined banking, the city was home to several important guilds, including the butchers, tanners, and bakers, and it also had a thriving textile industry. In the summer of 1518, a strange and deadly phenomenon occurred in the town of Strasbourg, France. A woman named Frau Troffa began dancing in the streets. All the people started noticing her and few joined her for dance. She danced for hours, seemingly unable to stop. And her movements were described as wild and frenzied. All the people from town and nearby villages started to assemble and place became like a marketplace. Within a week, dozens of people had joined in the strange and frenzied dance, and by the end of the month, the number of dancers had grown to over 400. Despite her exhaustion, Frau Troffa takes a break, have a nap, then continued to dance. This continued for several days, and soon others in the city began to join her. The dancing was not joyful or celebratory, but rather a compulsive and frenzied activity that often ended in exhaustion, injury, or death. Many of the dancers collapsed from exhaustion, while others suffered heart attacks, strokes, or other medical complications. Nearly 15 people died on the street daily. And people were dancing around the dead. The ministers and the council were on high alerts to stop this. At a point the council were seeming clueless and helpless with something external has taken over the city. The authorities were perplexed, and tried to stop the dancing by playing music, removing dancers from the streets, and even building a stage for the dancers to perform on. One theory behind why authorities played music to stop the dancing is that they believed the dancers were possessed by demons, and the music was thought to have a calming effect on the possessed individuals. Additionally, some historians believe that the authorities may have played music in an attempt to distract the dancers and give them a break from their non-stop dancing, hoping they would eventually tire out and stop dancing. Another theory suggests that the music was played as a form of psychological warfare to break the trance-like state that the dancers were in. The loud and unfamiliar music may have jolted the dancers out of their frenzied state and brought them back to reality. Authorities did their best to stop the dancing, but nothing had stopped. On other side, doctors and other medical professionals attempted to intervene and stop the dancing, but their efforts were largely ineffective. But nothing seemed to work. The dancing continued. Some religious leaders saw the dancing as a sign of demonic possession or divine punishment, and attempted to exorcise or pray over the dancers. Others believed that the dancing was a form of religious ecstasy or worship. On the other side, the preachers and authorities were warning people about the dangers of the dancing plague. However, the dancers were not convinced, and it continued without breaks, and the place were becoming horrific. But in the end, no one could explain the cause of the dancing plague. Some theories suggest that it was caused by ergot poisoning, a fungus that grows on rye and can cause hallucinations and convulsions. Others speculate that it was a form of mass hysteria, brought on by stress, anxiety, and social tensions. Whatever the cause, the dancing plague of 1518 remains one of the most mysterious and deadly phenomena in history. And, the whole city was collapsed at the end of the epidemic. And it serves as a reminder that sometimes, even the most bizarre and inexplicable events can happen, even in the most ordinary of places. While the dancing plague of 1518 is perhaps the most well-known example of such an event, similar incidents have occurred in other parts of the world throughout history. For example, there have been reports of similar outbreaks in parts of Europe during the medieval and early modern periods, as well as in Africa and Asia in more recent times. One notable example is the Tanganyika laughter epidemic of 1962, which occurred in what is now Tanzania. In that case, a group of women began laughing uncontrollably, and the laughter soon spread to other schools and even to neighboring villages. The epidemic lasted several months and affected hundreds of people. Now, let's go back to Strasbourg. What happened to Frau Troffa? The historical records do not provide much information about what happened to Frau Troffa after the dancing plague ended. It is not known if she survived the event or what became of her after the dancing stopped. Today, Strasbourg is the capital of the Alsace region of France, and it is known for its rich history, beautiful architecture, and vibrant cultural scene. The city is home to several museums, including the Alsatian Museum, the Museum of Modern and Contemporary Art, and the Historical Museum of Strasbourg, as well as numerous festivals and events throughout the year. Now, add your comments. If you were living during the dancing plague of 1518 and found yourself in the midst of the frenzied dancing, how would you stop yourself from joining in? Or, alternatively, how do you think you would react to the situation? If you liked the video, please like and subscribe to the channel.